Hi everyone, my name is Amber Bundy and I teach 6th grade math, and I was asked to share a few things that I do in my small group classes and how data drives my instruction. So enjoy, and please let me know if you have any questions about any of the things that I share today. Okay, so when you look into my MTSS tracker for my small groups, I have a lot of tabs on the bottom that I keep all of my test scores in. I have a tab for the PLA, I have a tab for the first checkpoint. I'll add tabs for subsequent checkpoints after the first one. But I also have a tab for each of my small groups. And this is what it looks like in my second small group tab. I have the students, I have all of their assessments listed that they've taken so far. And I like to keep that in there because I have a couple of students, like this one here and this one here, who did really well on the PLA tests, but they didn't do so well on the first checkpoint. And so I like to keep my eye on those students, keep them on my radar because they may have just rushed through that checkpoint, not taken their time, not tried as hard as they could. So I don't want them to get bored in my small group class, and I may consider moving them out if they feel like they really understand what they're doing and I can see that they understand what they're doing. And then after that, you can see I have my attendance. I have a column for each day of my small group attendance, and my attendance is really high, actually. I taught small groups all last year. That's all I taught last year was small groups, and I never had the kind of attendance I have this year. And so I wanted to share a few of the things that I've been doing with my small groups to keep that attendance high. You can see I've been up into the mid 80s for my attendance. We're usually more around this one where we're at about 78 to 80%. A few things that I really like to do, I send out a daily auto dial text that shows up in parents' phones 15 minutes before class starts. That gives them enough time to go find their kid wherever they've wandered off to and get them logged into class on time. And it also gives them that reminder every day that their student has a required class and they need to be to it. And one other thing that I found this year to be really helpful is that I can set up, that's supposed to be a circle, I can set up all of those texts for the week on Monday. So when I go in to do my whole group class attendance on Monday morning, I set up all of my small group texts for the week so I don't have to worry about it. It's a time saver. So I go in and you can see you can add more than one time, more than one day, all at the same time, and then that's scheduled and it will go out. You don't have to remember to do anything else. Another thing that I like to do is I make my small group classes fun. I feel like with a smaller group of students, in my whole group I get about 80 students, and I can't do some of these things. And the students love to come because I leave the microphone open. They can jump on, answer a question, ask a question, add a little tidbit of information that they know, and they love that I just leave that open. I also leave chat open almost the whole time, and they're able to do the same thing. I allow students to work on the whiteboard quite a bit in my small groups, and I allow for free time during the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes of class, and they love that. They look forward to it every day. Now, along with letting my students use the whiteboard quite often in my class, this is one of the ways that I use data to drive my instruction while actually in class. And so I wanted to share that with you as well today. Using multiple whiteboards, how I set this up is I have a slide for each one of my students. They write their name and solve the problem after we have been able to talk about it together as a class. I've done my teaching, modeling, and we've gone over some practice problems. But this allows me to see immediately what students understand it, what students don't understand it, maybe what steps they're going, having trouble with, and sometimes I see a misunderstanding that they've had as pretty much a whole class, and it allows me to do reteaching But one of my favorite things that I like about this, instead of sending them to individual class or individual breakout rooms to work on problems, I like keeping them all in the same room, because as I look through the whiteboards and I see misunderstandings, I'm able to address it right then while they are working on their page. And I feel like that's an effective way for them to see maybe where they're going wrong as they're working on the problem. I also use this as their exit ticket a lot of the time. And so that ups participation when you tell them that it is for their exit ticket and it's going to count towards their grade. So like I said, I really like this method for driving my data within my class. And then the last little bit of information that I wanted to share with you is coherence maps. And this slide with the clickable links will be in the breakout room for you to look at. And I also have a ding that will explain how to use this a little bit more. But I'd really encourage you to go and look at it and use it in your math class if you find that it is something that you can apply. When we're talking about data-driven instruction, when we look at our test scores from our checkpoints, from our assessments that we give in our whole groups, from the PLA, we look at the different standards that we're supposed to be teaching. And in these coherence maps, you can go and look at the standard that your students are not understanding or not grasping as well to teach in your small group. And then you can find all of the other standards that they should have learned in prior grades, and they show you what standards they need to have as a base before they can understand the one that you're working on. And it gives a lot of great information about each of those standards. So go ahead and make sure that you check out that Jing and let me know if you have any questions about those coherence maps. That is all I have for you today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have been able to take something from what I presented today, and have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.